Welcome to the 34th year, 34 I said, of Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus. I got two things to be thankful for. The first one is we got Alex Smith. We got a leader at quarterback. The second one is the Washington Redskins won the first game. We got a chance to be happy on this team. I said two things, but I got three. Gary's not going to win the picks this year. So when we come back, we get this stuff started. We'll be back in a moment.
So you just walk around telling people Geico could help them save money on car insurance?
Yeah, that, and homeowners, renters, motorcycle and boat insurance.
Huh, that's nice. What happens when you catch a fish?
Oh!
Geico, more than just car insurance. See how much you could save at geico.com.
I'm okay!
To get better this season, the Redskins had to get younger. A few players that made this team as undrafted rookies. One is quarterback Danny Johnson from Southern. This is a guy that the Redskins liked a lot. And wide receiver Cam Sims from Alabama. This guy didn't even get on the field that much his senior season. And a local guy, defensive lineman Tim Settles. This is a guy that can play both the 4-3 and the 3-4 defense. And a few other players, rookie players that I got to talk to that shined to make this team.
Special team is a key part of the game, and since day one when I got to Bama, Coach B-Dub, he had told me I needed to play special teams to go to make it in the league, so they helped me at Alabama.
Talk about some of the things that stood out in your game that made you part of this 50-man roster.
I think it's just being versatile and willing to do whatever. I want to win, and whatever they ask me to do, if that helps the team win, I'm all about it.
What were some of the things that you think that stood out about your game that you got the coach's eyes?
Hopefully just my attitude towards the game. Just wanted to learn and wanted to go out and compete and perform, just making plays all around. And anything that I could do, just making plays and just, I don't know, just execute.
How instrumental was those veteran guys in helping the process?
Definitely made it a lot easier. Those guys definitely make it a lot easier. They push you. They want you to be good at your craft and that.
The beauty about you is that you're a natural 4-3, but you can also play the 3-4 too. Talk a little bit about just that.
It's new to me. You know, we at Virginia Tech we had packages where we had 3-down linemen, but you know, I like this defense. You know, as far as the techniques and how to play it and how you play how heavy you play on your man and stuff like that. It's just easier for me. I'm more balanced. So I'm not really as far up the field. I haven't been falling a lot more. I haven't been falling often like I'm used to. But you know, it's good just being able to keep that balance and take on double. It's easier to take on double teams and you know.
What has been some of the key factors from what the veteran players have told you, just being in the NFL and just improving on your craft now that you are on the 53-man roster?
Think like a pro. That's the first thing, and develop habits. You know, not bad habits, but good habits. You know, coming in early, you know, lifting, consistent, and never to perform at a high level.
Welcome back to the show, and as I said in the opening, we've been on the air for 34 years, and these individuals here have been an important part of it. Gary was still playing, but he's come back now, and he's even won the picks. So how he's done that, I don't know. I think he's cheating some kind of way. But here we got Mike Baker back on the scene, and we got G-Man and Donna. You guys realize
why is Donna back?
Why you back?
You bring her back every year. She ain't won in 20 years.
Well, they had a vote.
They voted him off.
She's still in the voting box.
Well, wait a minute, Donna. I mean, how many years you been here?
At least almost like 20.
20 years.
More than 20.
I tell you though, we
'Cause
joke
you
a
lost
lot
more
about
than
it,
20
guys,
years
but
worth.
No, I
one
wasn't.
thing that we can say in those 20 years, we haven't seen a lot of, since you left the team, we haven't even been in championship form. Now that's really, when we talk about that, that is something that you have to think about. But now, Mike, if you tell me, and I'm not, this is no indictment of the quarterback that was here prior, but it seems as though we got a quarterback now that's a leader. Not only a good player, but a leader.
Well, I know we shouldn't talk
And
about...
that's my opinion.
Oh, I agree. That's exactly right. You were saying that before the show. When was the last time we had someone who could lead a team? And I mean, do it with aplomb.
Ripping with him.
Yeah,
Ripping
exactly.
and Williams.
So,
That's the
I mean,
last
I just
one.
made a quick list of comparing Cousins to Smith, and I think you need to do that. When was the last time you saw a quarterback throw a screen pass like Alex Smith did? Not only that, when was the last time you saw a quarterback that had a touch on every single pass? Cousins didn't have that. When was the last time you saw decided mobility, literally, on almost every play? You had to account for the fact that Smith would run. You never had to worry about that with Cousins. Once in a while, he'd take off. But in addition to that, the leadership capability, and Smith is equally comfortable in the pocket and outside. Cousins was not. I mean, to get Cousins to roll out, you had to beg him. I mean, there is a major difference between these two quarterbacks.
Bring it down. Don't come weak now. You're going to say something.
No, I like what he said, but he
strong.
has to throw in this. Alex Smith, of course, 40-some plus touchdowns and 5 interceptions, but he's been successful basically because he's had a good running game in Kansas City. So how successful he's going to be here in Washington, of course he's probably better, similar to Cousins, but it's the running game. If they're able to run the ball, and they seem to be able to do that in the first week or so, if they can commit to running the ball, he's been successful because the pressure has been taken off his passing game because they've been able to run the ball.
But if you look at any team that's won the Super Bowl at any time, and G can tell you this, with all the Washington teams, the passing game is always big, but the running game is the foundation. And I think that they're going after that a little bit more maybe this year, G.
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you have a nice mix of both, it's always going to be well. I think it really comes down to the components of the players that you have on your team. When I first started with Washington, we had Rigo, we had George Rogers, so the running part was a big part of their game. But as we lost some of those guys, and then the receivers, the posse came into play, then it was pass first, run second, but we still had 1,000-yard rushers because you had to fear the passing game. So the key is whatever you have a combination of one has to be deadly, so you're scared of it. And then the other will automatically flourish because you're scared of one segment of the game. You can't be average at each part of the game. So
and see, G just answered your question because, yeah, Alex was good with the running game, but if you look on the other side of the ledger on Sunday, he created a lot of holes because he was hitting those short passes, then he was running himself when needed to keep from getting sacked. So I tell you what, both of them played off each other. Then Peterson got to running.
I was
Thompson
just getting
got
ready
to running.
to say.
You look at
that 1-2 punch.
Those two running backs had almost 400 yards.
Yeah.
That's a nice breath of air. You talk about Adrian
running and catching.
Yeah, you talk about Adrian Peterson got here with Washington late in the season. I mean, basically missed all of training camp. He comes in, doesn't miss a beat. He's got a chip on his shoulder because everybody said, oh man, he doesn't have much in the tank. Well, I haven't seen anything less because he's busting those holes like nothing. And then you've got Thompson, who has come back and not even 100%. And you think last year they were successful with this offense when he was part of it. When he left, the offense went down. But those two guys running together, they both can catch the ball out the backfield, and both can really create some things. And the offensive line can.
And that's what I'm
the key is the defense. Don't get me wrong. I expected the offense to score the amount of points that they scored.
Oh, you did?
You said defense?
Because last year we averaged 27, 30 points a game.
Yeah, he made
So I was never worried about the offense. Quite honestly, I don't care who you got. If you score 27 points, you're supposed to win the football game. You're supposed to win.
You guys have worked with some of the best play callers in the game. Joe Gibbs,
the
obviously,
score was great.
Right, Don Bro. But I'm telling you, ever since Jay took over the play calling, I'm seeing something that's exciting. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't mean to dump on Kyle Shanahan or any of the past play callers, but I love what Jay does. I liked it last year. I like it this year. He uses his players. He finds things he's comfortable with. What do you guys think?
Defense played good. That's why they won.
Right, and the play calling.
That's the only reason why they won. The defense played well.
Yeah,
the
I like
offense
that.
played like they knew they would play.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in 15 years. Well, let's hit this before we get out. What do you think about the receivers?
I like the receivers. I always have, though.
Do you think they're mature and they're ready for this now?
Yeah, I mean, because they're comfortable in that setting. They're still, I mean, Alex is comfortable because he still has a tight end. He likes his tight ends. But the wide receivers that they have, they're good receivers. Jameson's a beast. He just hasn't been released yet.
Right. Offensive line. I am enamored with that center they have. He's a guy that can get to the second level.
Yeah.
He's big, he's quick. And last year, remember, they had a problem with the center position.
Yeah. Across the board, Tony, as far as the offensive line, one of the best probably going to be in football.
Yeah, I said 2 years ago when they drafted Kendall Fuller, he was going to be a star. I told you, you heard me talk about Chase Rouillet all last year. He was going to be a star. Later on in the show, if you beg me, I'll tell you who the next star is going to be.
Well, later on in the show, he'll have to tell them. Don't you hate it when somebody says, "I told you so"? We'll be back in a moment.
Told you.
Well, you know, every time that I'm going to talk to you, I'm going to talk about the defense. I think the defense played well on Sunday. I think we got the two or three very good plays when they really needed it. One thing that I wasn't enamored with was the pass rush, not on a consistent basis. They had a couple of sacks, yes they did, but it was times when you got a Sam Bradford in there, you got to harass this guy, and I didn't see a lot of that. I did see big plays.
Yep.
I did see good on the run, but I want that defensive line to play a little bit better. When I go to the linebackers, I saw continuity there. I saw them playing pretty well, flowing. They got some linebackers now that can hit and run, but the defensive backs were a surprise to me.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be the area, Tony, that they struggle at as far as in the secondary, because they've got a lot of young guys back there, a lot of rookies that made this team, bumped out some of the veterans. But I was impressed with the young defensive line, too, because coming into the game, they struggled last year as far as stopping the run. This year so far, they did a pretty good job because in that last preseason game, they struggled in stopping the run, but they really hung in there, stuck in there, and I think they stopped the run.
Mike, you know what we're saying? No, Mike, we're saying that not just a unit. We're not saying that just one facet. We're saying they played well as a unit.
They did. Well, you got five
I'm
Alabama.
talking about everyone.
Yeah, you have five Alabama players. It's kind of Alabama North. But, I mean, I like the two guys in the middle. I really love Deron Payne at nose tackle. You got to love Jonathan Allen.
If we have five JMU guys on the team, it would be unstoppable.
It would be. Well, they would have speed, wouldn't they?
Unstoppable.
They'd all be like you, right, G?
They'd be like Charles Haley.
Yeah.
These are like Charles Haley.
Exactly.
These are the Bama Brawlers. That's what I'm calling them.
Yeah, but
Bama
you can't
Brawlers.
call everybody that. But I tell you what, we do have a lot of great players on there, and you can see this defense progressing to become a very good defense. When they said we got two good people inside and outside, right away I started thinking about Daryl Grant and Dave Butts. Then on the outside, Charles Mann and Dexter Mann. We get something going like that. But you got to get that constant pressure. You can't just get it at a certain time. They got 2 sacks. We say that you need to get 3 sacks. But you got to get pressures every quarter.
Because
and that's what I
mistakes
didn't
happen
see.
when you get those pressures.
Exactly.
When a mistake happen, that quarterback gets shaken up a little bit, he starts to make bad decisions.
Now this quarterback coming in this week, they don't have to get the pressure, and they have to stay with their coverage. Everybody have to run to the ball.
You know what I love? How many years have we been saying they can't stop the run? How many years are we saying they can't stop the run? They stuffed the run. This is I'm not going to say it's the third best defensive line in all of football, but when you looked at Chicago play, when you look at Jacksonville play, I'm thinking the Redskins could be the third best defensive
come
line.
on, man.
I can't say that
How
early.
you gonna figure this out in one
I can't
game?
say that early with a young defense.
You know who I love? I love
you
Tim
drinking the
Settle.
Kool-Aid,
No,
Mike. You can't say that in one
when was the
game.
last time you saw a guy like Tim Settle just
You'll
push,
be the same
push
one
two
next
guys
week.
right up into the quarterback?
Yeah, but everybody's fired up on the first week because everybody got a chance for the Super Bowl.
Well, that's true.
I want you to tell me that same thing in 4 weeks.
Don't hurt me.
But
Just like you said in the last segment, I told you so.
We're going to tell him so, right?
But I tell you what, tell me what facet do you think has improved the most?
Defense.
The defense.
I mean, but what facet of that defense?
The line.
So the entire
defensive line.
defense.
Yeah, I
And the
guess you have to
secondary
look at it
so
like
far.
Everything you guys talked about just in this a second ago, each segment of the defense got better than we're used to them playing.
Well, yeah.
The line has to get a little better, like you said, but they still maintain.
They did some good things.
Anytime
They
I
did
can
some good
basically
things.
shut a team out,
230
all
some
segments,
yards or
all
something.
segments are tend to be working
You
well.
take away
right.
that
And-
running game.
And the
See,
Skins.
Gary's coming to the
Yeah,
outside.
I know. It's
Like,
coming
we-
to the right of
He's
the
coming to
field.
the
Because all I'm
outside.
saying is the offense was already on point.
No,
Oh,
they
they
wasn't.
wasn't right.
I would say
They wasn't
you
totally
average
on
You know the
27 to
draft.
30 points a game.
Yeah.
You on point. You're not supposed to do anything else. When I lose a game 31-30, 30, come on now. I ain't supposed to lose a game
You know what
like
I
that.
saw out of that was good? And Mike, I know you got a point here. They didn't lose it in the second half.
That's
No,
the
they
key.
stayed.
They got a little
And
tired.
think about last year, they got a little tired, but the
tired.
rotation was better.
Yeah.
They're playing about
They almost
5
had
to
a
6
shutout.
defense.
When have we the last time we
Exactly.
almost had a shutout?
Exactly.
It's been like
What?
400.
440
Like I said, it has
games.
never been the offense.
And wasn't no big plays like they usually have.
No.
And Mike, you were
We
making
get
a
it
point.
I just
done.
think the draft has been great. If you look at this, we lost Kendall Fuller and everybody was upset, but Fabian Moreau's moved into nickel. And Monte Nicholson, we really believed in
He
him
can stay
last year.
healthy, yeah.
And he is. You got Swearinger in there. You have Josh.
Doug Williams
You've
has
got
a
a great
4-year
secondary.
as,
Yeah.
You
we're
can
not
see
calling
it.
him GM, but he's a GM.
Right.
Without
Yeah,
calling him
and he's
GM,
doing
head
a
of
great
personnel.
job.
He has a 4-year and you're starting to see the results already.
Sure
And
are.
you know what? We've talked about results on offense. We've talked about results on defense. But special teams are even playing better. In the next segment, we got to talk about that because they made some plays. Now, they did have 1 or 2 plays that you could take back, but every facet
Coverage.
of the team.
Coverage
And that's
is
like
good.
us up here.
Nice.
All of us are not doing well. We're going to have to get rid of somebody. So if Mike's seat is empty when we come back, you'll know what happened in a minute.
I wish you weren't so worried about moving.
I'm hoping these nature sounds will help me relax a bit.
At least we don't have to worry about homeowners insurance. Just call Geico.
Geico helps with homeowners insurance? Good to know.
Feeling better?
I love you, Pookie Bear.
I love you, Pookie Bear. I love you, Pookie Bear. I love you, Pookie Bear.
Get to know Geico and see how easy homeowners and renters insurance can be.
One thing will always be said that it's 3 facets of a football team. We talk about offense, defense, but special team. And you know, last year we could not always say that our special team showed up, even though Mike picks the same person as his superstar.
I'm sorry, don't hurt me.
I won't even say their
I
name.
wanted-
Everybody know he's done it for 3
No.
years. But we
Yeah.
saw some good things on special teams. But, gee, you know what I mean. We had people back there, we expected that. When we had Mike Nims back there, when you guys played, we expected them
At
to
some
make
point
big
in time,
plays.
you want your return guys to always be a threat. because then it puts pressure on the opposing team to prepare for you. So, and it's always nice when we had B. Mitch, we had Mike Nams, you had these people that at any point in time they could change the game.
Exactly.
With just what a return. So we want to be able to get that back.
Who is that person on this team?
I don't know.
It's a lot. It's a lot of young guys, because you think about a lot of the veteran guys are no longer on special teams. So you've got a lot of rookies that made this team. And the good thing about it is Cam Sims is a wide receiver, and he said something important as far as his college coach told him, look, in order to make the NFL, you're probably going to have to play special teams. So they're already like driving that in their heads, is that to be a good special teams players. So I think you're going to see a lot of hungry young players.
That's the key word. You got to be hungry, just what Don
But
said.
she was really political on that. She hasn't answered the question
I
yet.
don't know yet.
She was at camp. she been interviewing them. She been doing everything, and you never said a name. Give me a name.
They drafted Apke because of his speed, and I had him as my special teams player of the week.
What's his number?
Troy Apke. I don't.
Okay, we
30,
so we can watch him.
Yeah,
number 30.
He's not my emerging star, but I really thought that he. I was watching him on special teams. He was in on 2 tackles. Plus, he caught that guy from behind that would have scored a touchdown. He was my player until I heard that he was out of position and got lucky and made that tackle.
Yeah, but great
That's what I was
players
told.
get out of position and make plays.
That's the key.
You should have kept him as your player.
Yeah, okay, I'll change it.
Well, a name to remember.
The key is if you get beat on something, you're able to recover from it and still make the play and still make the play.
Wait, everybody silence. Donna's going to make
A name to remember on special teams. This is the undrafted guy, cornerback Danny Johnson.
Everybody write that down. She said Donna.
Danny Johnson.
Danny Johnson.
That's right.
He's going to be, well, he doesn't return strong.
How are the kickers doing, guys? What do you think about him? Through looking at him through training camp, all the way through these games.
Donna would probably be better to answer that
especially
question,
with a
but I
name
don't
like
really
Hopkins.
look at him too often.
Yeah, I understand. What do you think?
You don't go.
They're kickers.
No, but Trashway has played. I mean, really
two
been.
boomers.
Yeah. And then, Hopkins, the family.
Your cousin.
I knew she was going to I was just trying to set that up for you.
Hopkins, what can I say? But, I mean, they don't have to kick that much.
Now, we got a team coming here with the coach. They got their quarterback back. They got a decent team. Running game is kind of average. What do we think this team needs to do next week? Well, we're going to have to answer in the next segment to beat this team.
We need to blow them out. We need to have the same type of game we had last week.
When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Poor luck.
Come away with me, Barnabas.
But I am a simple farmer. My life is here. In the field.
Ahoy, hoy, Alexander Graham Bell here. No, my number is 1. You must want 2. 2, I say.
Like my father.
Ahoy, hoy.
As long as people talk too loudly on the phone, you can count on Geico saving folks money. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Well, I know you've wondered where I've been. The Minister of Information is back. Gary Clark will come in second in the picks this year, so when I pick this game, you'll understand what I'm saying. You got New England going to Jacksonville. You got Brady, who is always good, Bortles, who sometimes is good. Jacksonville have one of the best defenses you will see. New England's defense rushed the passer well, but can they stop the run? Jacksonville plays the run. They run the ball really well. So if you take a look at this game, everybody will say, it's coming down to Brady. And as G would say, which he never knows was right, don't go against Brady. Well, go against him. Jacksonville will win.
Well, in hot games this week, I've got Minnesota traveling to Green Bay. And we all know about Aaron Rodgers going down with a knee injury, coming back in to rally his team to a win over Chicago. And we know about Cousins, who gets his first win as a Minnesota Viking. So this week, I've got to pick the Minnesota Vikings because you don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to go with that knee injury. You got Minnesota with a strong defense and offensive line, and Tony, as he always say, it starts up front. With that running game and Cousins, they get to win this week.
This week's game, we got the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to Raymond James Stadium to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Florida. Well, you have two very interesting clubs coming off Week 1 wins, but this one's going to be a physical contest, and I expect Philadelphia to take it here. I like the Eagles on the road by 10+ points.
Gary Clark is out shagging fly balls. He'll be here periodically, but he wanted me to do his green screen for him this week. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Kansas City at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is favored by 5.5. That is a laugher for several reasons. No Le'Veon Bell, plus you have Patrick Mahomes. Now, he's one of the bright spots in last week's and the future of the NFL. Plus, you've got Kareem Hunt running the ball. Biggest factor in the game on Sunday will be Hurricane Florence. 40-mile-an-hour gusts, driving rain, and Kansas City has a running game. Look for them to win this game by 10. You know, we have a new segment this year. It's called Fan of the Week. I'll be out with my camera. Donna will as well. We'll be taking photographs of big fans during the course of the season. At the end of the season, we'll have a drawing, and whoever wins the drawing gets to come out and be on our last Redskins show right here in Sterling, Virginia. So our fans this week are Don, Brad, Corey, and who's the guy in the glasses and hat? That's me. Anyway, they were down at camp, and I want to tell you, folks, nobody worked any harder at camp this year than Donna Hopkins. She was down there every single day. She took notes. She interviewed players. This woman's amazing. So if you want to know something about this particular team, there's only one person on this.
And she's performing like this, and
Exactly.
she was there every day.
I can't tell you all my
Go
secrets
on,
early
do the
on.
smart part.
I was getting ready to say
who the special team player was.
Yeah, that's true.
It's game 1.
You got to believe it. Anyway, it was Apke. Okay, on the picks of the week, this week it's Carolina at Atlanta. Tony, Atlanta. Donna, Carolina. Gary, Atlanta. Mike, Atlanta. Minnesota at Green Bay. Everybody's got Minnesota. Kansas City at Pittsburgh. Everybody has KC, but Gary, he's picking Pittsburgh. Philadelphia at Tampa Bay. Everybody's got Philly. New England at Jacksonville. Tony's got Jacksonville. Donna has New England. Gary has New England. He never picks against the big guy, yeah. And I have Jacksonville. So that's it, Tony.
It's a new sheriff in town. I'm gonna take this year, and I'm gonna start with your New England.
That is good.
We talking about it. We only got a few minutes here. The Colts are coming in. Washington got a good start last week, but now you have to put that to bed and get ready to play. You got a quarterback, and Andrew Luck was out for a year and a half, but at the same time, he threw maybe 40 or 50 balls last week. If we do not get pressure on them, do we have a problem?
Yes.
You do. You do.
Yeah, and you better be
If you
able
don't
to
get pressure on any quarterback, you have a problem.
But one like him, he's a
That
very
can
good
thread the
quarterback.
needle.
And that has something to prove. He's trying to get back, too, so yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. What's the running
Indy
game
has
like?
a much tougher linebacking crew, and they're bigger, stronger, faster. You're not going to be able to run the ball as well. You're going to have to go downfield a little more.
So you think in all facets of the team it's important, so special teams becoming the one that you know so much about.
I do. What did you tell Mike? It's one game.
Right.
I can't tell you all my secrets, but I disagree with Mike. They're going to be able to run that ball.
You think they will?
Definitely.
Well, at the same time, what do you think it would take, the running game or the passing game? Gary feels like the passing game is going to be more important to open up the running game.
I think right now it's a facet of our game that they rely on right now. So they're relying on the passing game to open up the running game. But when we got a back like we have, two good backs. Peterson, his mentality is not that of your average back. He has something to prove, and he's going to try to prove it. So if it's 3rd and 1, he's going to pick up the damn 1 yard.
You talking about running with bad intentions. Some of those runs that he made on Sunday was unreal. And that's what I like to see with the back, that when they hit him, he's like, get off of me, and knocking people down there.
And you got Thompson, that 1-2
Same way I do
punch.
Micah with the picks. Get
Exactly.
off of me.
Well, now I've won a few.
Mike, we got about 40 seconds. What do you think in signaling, and tell me what will win this game?
I agree with Gary. We finally have a defense. And, of course, I know you love that. We have a defensive line. Nobody's going to run the ball down our throats.
Gotta get pressure, though.
But when I see Swearinger in that game and I see Josh, and those two come together and the way they brought those young backs around, I'm telling you, that is one tough secondary.
G?
You know me. I just think you got to put it together. I'm like Mike. I think the defense is playing better. You got to continue to play better.
Yeah, all the 3 facets, Tony, but I like that offensive line that has really come together in opening up that running game.
And Donna was right. It's going to take all 3 facets and eliminate the mistakes, and they can win this game. But one thing they have to do is forget about this week and play for next week. When we come back, we will be talking about a win next week. You come back and watch us again
I'm winning
in the
picks.
minute.
I'm winning the picks.